that we've got those glutes awake and ready to be on fire, my 5 favorite exercises. Starting off with the one leg deadlift. Now this is different than a Romanian deadlift where you are hinging and you have a slight bend in the knee. A deadlift is going to be more of a hinge and you're coming down, your legs are bending at a 45-degree angle, but you're still hinging forward versus a squat where your butt goes down, you're dropping, your posture stays upright and your chest stays upright. Deadlift, you're hinging. That's going to activate everything. It's called the posterior chain, everything up your backside. One leg deadlift, I'm going to show you without weight first. So you're going to find your balance on one leg. You're going to hinge it forward, 45-degree bend in that leg. That free leg's going to extend straight behind you as you hinge forward. Maintaining balance. So right about that 45-degree bend right here, you're really going to feel that. Driving through that heel, coming back up to start, and repeat. Now there's a couple different ways to load this. You can just do it body weight if you're feeling like, oh yeah, I'm working on my balance, I'm really focusing on that slow range of motion, making sure I'm tensing up the right muscles. You can choose, I love using kettlebells, so if you have dumbbells, you can always use a dumbbell. So what you're going to do, you can either be holding onto one dumbbell, so it's at your thigh, or you've got the kettlebell, it's placed right in front of the working leg. You're hinging forward, grabbing onto that kettlebell, all the way up. Nice and slow and controlled. If anything, this is slow, 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 quick up. Slow, 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 quick up. And that being said, you really want to pay attention to the fact that your shoulders stay level, your hips stay level, there's no twisting, and you're really going to feel that leg working. Another way to load that pattern this is one of my favorite ways to do the one leg deadlift. Is now I have 2 different sized kettlebells. I have an 8 kilogram and a 12 kilogram. So I'm going to stand in between those 2 kettlebells. Same thing, or if you're holding 2 different dumbbells, hinging it forward. Whoa, you feel that load. And once again, that one's a little bit more advanced, but it's something to show you that you can, there's a varied degree of levels that you can use to help challenge your glutes no matter where you are with your fitness level. All right, goblet squat is my next favorite booty boosting move. Once again, I'm going to use my kettlebell. Goblet squat, I'll show you body weight version first. You're going to take a stance that's wider than hip distance apart. Toes are pointed out slightly. What we're going to be doing is dropping our body weight down between our hips, so we have to create that room. If your feet are too narrow, you're not going to be able to go down as low, because our goal is for our butt to go past our hips. So it's going to look like this. When you go into a goblet squat, hips go back slightly, posture stays up, coming down nice and low. You should be able to press your elbows into your knees. Notice your posture, chin is up, chest is up, shoulders are back. Then you're going to drive through those heels, coming all the way back up to start, full extension of the hips. You should squeeze your glutes at the top. So slow all the way down, press those elbows into your knees, drive it up. Adding weight, this is what it's going to feel like, or look like, because yeah, you know what I feel, right? So from here, same thing, hips go back, nice and low, all the way down, press your elbows into your knees, drive it up. Nice and slow all the way down, press, drive it up. And that's that range of motion, that tempo, nice and slow down, explode up. And yes, you can always do those with a dumbbell as well. Kettlebell is my preference. Exercise number 3, the 1.5 Bulgarian split squat. Now, if this is too advanced, I'll show you a modification. But Bulgarian split squat simply means you are standing in front of a bench or a step because you're going to elevate your back leg. The height of the step is going to depend upon your fitness level. So what you're going to do is step forward as if you were going to be doing a lunge. So that nice gap between your feet to allow your body to drop below. Elevate that back foot. Now, what do you got to do here? Adjust your posture. Make sure nice and tall and proud. Think of tilting your pelvis forward. That front leg is bent slightly, and if you need to jump it out more, you can. You just got to make sure that your shin's vertical and your knee does not extend past that toe. Then from here, Bulgarian split squat, but 1.5. So what we're going to do is drop all the way down so your thigh is parallel here, halfway up, all the way down again, drive it all the way up. So here's your half and your full. Half and your full. And then you switch and do it on the other side. Now, if elevating that back foot is too much, you can still get the same out of that movement by just doing a split squat. So same thing again. As if you're going to go into a lunge, I'm going to take a nice wide step forward, but stop right here. Back foot is on its tiptoe, front foot, your weight's in that heel. Nice tall posture. You're just going to be lowering yourself down, halfway up, lower all the way down again, all the way up. So here's your half and your whole, okay? Nothing here is moving. There's none of this. Pretend like there's a string coming out from your chest or the back of your neck, and that's what's pulling you up and out. Oh boy, already feeling those. 1.5 Bulgarian split squats, and I like to say that that's your new BSS. All right, slow step downs are my next favorite move to target the butt. You're going to need a strap of some sort. You use band, strap, using Tyler's Kung Fu belt. So what I'm going to be doing is attaching this to something secure and wrapping it around my wrist. I'm going to go ahead and start at the top of the step up. This is a slow step down. So the beginning is at the top. And what you're going to be doing is utilizing the leverage of those bands as slow as you can go, ideally to the count of 5. Lower it down, down, down. Pulse it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring it up. And the band or the straps of the band are just there to help with leverage and that balance, so you can really focus on lowering as slowly as possible. If you do not have this type of setup available, you can do the reverse. You can stand in front of a bench or a step or a chair, something that's secure, and with your balance on one leg, nice and slow all the way down, drive it up. Nice and slow all the way down, drive it up. Still going to get that same effect, but if you can do it off of a step up and you've never done those before, wow, booty burner. All right, I'm up to my 5th favorite exercise, swings. Swings are a dynamic movement that you can do with kettlebells or with dumbbells. I'm going to show you both variations. So there's no excuse why you cannot do swings. And this is also kind of thinking ahead of all the bonus videos that I'm making. People are always asking for non-impact interval options. Swings are a non-impact interval option. You can use them for strength training or for interval training. So what is a swing? Well, it is a hip hinging movement. So once again, hip hinging meaning you're hinging at the waist, so you're feeling your torso fold over when your fingers are right on your hip bones, folding over those fingertips, slight bend in the knee. Keep that neck neutral. We're not hinging craning our neck up, looking down, then coming up. With the swing, it's going to be a powerful. Think of popping of the hips or squeeze those glutes. So at the top of a swing, if you were to take my body, and if I was stiff as a board, light as a feather, stiff as a board, and you pick me up and you step me down, I'd be in the perfect plank. And that's the reason why I want you to kind of think about the top of a swing is right here, is because you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to hurt your back. So body weight version, I'm not going to have any weight in my hand right now. It's going to look like this if you're using a kettlebell, and then I'm going to show you a dumbbell variation. So weight is going to go, I'm going to hike the weight between my upper inner thighs. The bottom of the bell is going to be pointing at the deck railing. It's not going to be down low, pointing. It's not going to be lower than my knees. It's not going to be pointing towards the ground. It's going to be pointing back behind me. It's a hike. Then from here, the popping of the glutes is what's going to power that weight up to shoulder level. It's a very quick movement. And it also want you to think about, as that weight comes up, where are your shoulders? They should stay packed. So everything is engaged. Everything right here at the top. If you pause yourself in slow motion, everything is solid. And once again, it should be able to flip you and put you down on the ground. Nice, solid plank position. So with the kettlebell, this is what it's going to look like. If you have kettlebell, because I see this happen all the time, I caught my husband doing it the other day too. If you have a kettlebell, this is not the starting position. Because what you're doing is starting the movement off weak. You gotta start strong. The very first swing should be as strong as your last swing. And the only way to make that happen is to hike it back. So it's positioned in front of you. So if you were to come down in that hinge position, you can grab the kettlebell here, because then I'm gonna hike it back, boom. Number 1 is as powerful as number 20 or 30, however many you're gonna do. So, hiking it back up between upper, middle, inner thighs, then popping those glutes, hinging forward, leading with my chest, shoulders stay packed, and you should feel the kettlebell is weightless right here, because all the power of that bell coming up is coming from your posterior chain. And then you end just like you started. So, those are some quick tips. I have a great kettlebell tutorial video series if you're interested in mastering that. If kettlebells are not something that you have available, all you need are 2 dumbbells. We're going to be doing what's called skier swings. And this is a great exercise to do, especially if swings are something you're still trying to master. You're going to take a narrow stance, feet are close together, because that'll prevent you from squatting, which is one of the biggest mistakes people make when they do swings. So what you're going to be doing is hiking the dumbbells back up behind you, then the same movement. Popping those hips, squeezing those glutes. And that's what drives the weights up to that shoulder level. And called a skier swing because the movement that you're doing is similar to someone skiing. I've never skied, so I trust that that example holds true. All right, those are my top 5 beautiful backside exercises. Give them a try and be on the lookout for more celebratory videos all this week. Thanks again for your loyalty and your support.